I watched football today. It was pretty ass, I would say. I obviously, you see back there that blanket. That's a Cincinnati Bengals logo. I'm a very big Cincinnati Bengals fan. They are my favorite NFL team. All right. I didn't start watching football till I was like 13, 14. It was Joe Burrow's second season, and I thought, damn, that's a cool team. That's a very cool team. Unbeknownst to me at the time, the Bengals hired the actual worst head coach in the NFL, Zach Taylor. And watching football today just really, it made me realize how bad of a head coach Zach Taylor is. For those that don't watch football, Joe Burrow is out for at least 3 months with like a stage 3 turf toe injury, I believe, and something's wrong. I saw the play calling. I saw the difference in play calling between Joe Burrow and Jake Browning, and I saw the difference in pressure that was getting to Burrow between getting to Browning. And now I have to watch Jake Browning football for 3 damn months. Because Zach Taylor, and I had to see this last week too, I watched the Browns play at Cincinnati. Zach Taylor is a horrible, awful head coach. I'm armchair coaching. You got me. I'm armchair quarterback, armchair coach. Let me talk. Hear me out. Zach Taylor has, throughout his time as Cincinnati Bengals head coach, has had, 3 winning seasons, 2 trips to the playoffs, a trip to the Super Bowl, 2 trips to the AFC Championship. And you want to give him a mulligan some seasons. You do, right? You want to give him a mulligan for whenever Joe Burrow's wrist ligament tore. You want to give him a mulligan for his, Joe Burrow's ACL tear his rookie season. Other than that, you can't give him a mulligan for anything. Last season, the defense was terrible, okay? I think everyone knows how awful the Bengals defense was last season. And I don't think it's Lou Anarumo's fault. I really don't. I've seen the way that I live in Indiana, okay? So I've seen the way that the Colts defense is played. I saw how they played Denver. I saw how they played Miami. They played both Denver and Miami great. And all of a sudden, right, this Bengals defense, terrible. They fielded a good defense, okay? And defensive coordinators, they matter. They do. But also a head coach matters as well. The head coach has a lot to do with the defense. He can't develop players. He can't. Okay, he's a product of Burrow, Jamar, and T. Okay, awful drafter. He's a terrible drafter. I think we should also fire our GM because they have been terrible at drafting. Outside of drafting Joe, T, Logan Wilson, Cam Taylor-Britt, they can't draft an offensive lineman to save Joe's life, to save Joe's career. Joe Burrow, I said this on Twitter earlier today, Joe Burrow is this era's Andrew Luck, right? He's insane. He's going to constantly be a top, 3 quarterback in the NFL. I personally think he's the second best in the NFL. That's just me. But he's always going to be hurt, right? You're going to think, okay, the new expectations for Cincy, big expectations for Cincy. They got Joe, they got Jamar, they got T. Look at this offense. They can't build an offensive line around him. They're trying. They're failing. They're failing miserably, and that goes all the way to the front office, right? That goes up to Zach Taylor. That goes up to the GM. Because they have an inability to scout talent. Okay, a coach influences the draft and player progression as much as the GM. And Zach Taylor's awful at it. His play calling is abysmal. He has terrible clock management, as I mentioned earlier. We'll need to drive down the field. He'll be calling 5-yard out routes, 5-yard in run, the middle of the field, 2-minute drill, 1 timeout. We're throwing checkdowns. His plays would be checkdowns. His plays are screens. He'll run that garbage. Fine if you got all 3 timeouts, but you don't. You don't. All right? His play calling is so different between Burrow and Browning. It's crazy. His play calling got better with Jake Browning. Which I think he should keep that energy with Joe and call good plays with Joe, right? And also, I don't even know how he got hired in the first place. He wasn't even that great of an offensive coordinator with the Rams. He's a product of Sean McVay. He's the Jared Goff of NFL head coaches. That's what he is, right? Brian Callahan. He's a product of Sean McVay and Brian Callahan coaching, right? Because Zach Taylor wasn't the one with the play calling last season. It was Brian Callahan. I'm a liar. Because Brian Callahan wasn't there last season. But 2 seasons ago, he wasn't the one doing the play calling. It was Brian Callahan, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I probably am, let's be real. But even still, it's crazy to me how incompetent he is. He's a bumbling moron on the sidelines. You can't give him a mulligan for that 9-8 season last season where they missed the playoffs because that's his defense. That's still a defense that he coached. The scapegoat was Lou Anarumo. Lou Anarumo wasn't the damn problem. Because now, like, look, the defense is getting takeaways. Yeah, it's still close games, right? 17-16, 31-28? Great for the defense, I guess, but he's the offensive guy too, right? The offense can't get going, right? It can't. He can't get the offense going, right? Especially in the early season, which is why they've had chances to make the playoffs, be the 1 seed even some seasons, and yet they don't because they're going to start off 1-1, 0-2 in the first 2 games of the season. In like week 3, that's always when they wake up. Right? That's when they did last season. They wake up near mid to late season, but you can't do anything with that when your defense is giving up 45 points a game and a 300-pound man is getting stiff-armed by Lamar Jackson. And then, Lamar's going to find Isaiah Likely wide open in the end zone because that defense that you coach is leaving receivers more wide open than a prostitute's legs. Like, I don't know how he has a job. I think he shouldn't have a job. I think he should be fired. That's just me, though. What can I say, right? I don't coach football. I just watch it. Maybe he knows something that I don't. Maybe, just maybe, this will turn around. Maybe he's actually the greatest head coach of all time, and he'll make Jake Browning look like Joe Burrow. But I doubt it. I sincerely doubt it. But, like, I don't know. That's all I got. I just had a rant about Zach Taylor because I hate that my favorite team is coached by Zach Taylor.